is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go!
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goal.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.
Whether they talked about you, whether they said things about you, or would they, or they taunted you or they tried to take your lunch money, or that was a form of bullying.
Most definitely. Sharon, let us know if you can hear us now, okay? So first, let us go ahead and acknowledge our partners and friends and our sponsors. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191, and their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, partner, or friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. We would love for you to partner with us to help us do everything that we do to bring this awesome program to you every Saturday at
Yes,
9 a.m.
absolutely,
So are
guys.
we being heard out there? Are
Well,
we
I'm not
being
getting any
heard?
response. But we're gonna go on though. We're gonna keep moving forward. So technology. But we're going to keep going. You know what that sound is, guys? That is Help Matters Happening Tune, where we come and bring you relevant information that pertains to your health and well being.
Most definitely, Jackie. We've been getting a lot of rain, a lot of flood,
Yes, yes, yes.
especially from the what Debbie, that tropical storm,
Yes.
small category 1 hurricane came through the southeast and gave us a lot of water, and I think it's still giving us some water up there in the northeast. So some things that you just need to be aware of if you're in a flooded area. Never drive in flooded areas. Turn around. This phrase is turn around, don't drown. Flood water and standing water can be dangerous and make you vulnerable to infectious diseases, chemical hazards, and injuries. So you want to protect yourself and your loved ones from the risk brought by flood waters. By following some steps. I'm gonna go through a few of them, but you can go on to cdc.gov and it'll give you some information on how to, protect yourself and your loved ones if you're in a flooded area and have been flooded out in your home or your roads are flooded and things of that nature. As I said, it's so important that you don't drive in flooded areas. Always follow warnings about flooded roads. Don't drive in flooded areas. Cars or vehicles won't protect you from flood waters. Very important to know that they can be swept away or may stall in moving water and cause you some issues there. Also, down power lines can be in the water. We know what that can do. Human and livestock waste, all of this can be in flood water. So you don't want your children playing in water and things of that nature. Household, medical, and industrial hazardous waste like chemical, biological, and radiological things can be in the water. So there's so much that can be in that water. I'm talking about rodents, snakes, a lot of debris from vehicles, oil, contaminants. So be aware of that. You can go to cdc.gov and get more information on that. I'm not going to go through all of these things on this, but you can go to cdc.gov and get more information. This has been your Help Matters Happening.
Well, thank you, Coach. And Coach, can I add on to that?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if y'all seen the massive recall food alert of boards deli meats.
Yeah, boars.
So boards. So go to your the CDC website, FDA. They had a massive recall on boards heads meats.
Meats. Wow.
And that's where your deli meats, when you go get your subs, sandwiches, get your deli meats from the deli. So be very careful, guys. If you eat those things. So but they had a massive recall. So we can't trust or depend on the stores to remove those things. So you want to be very careful, and
Even the restaurants that use.
even the restaurant that makes
yeah.
sandwiches and
Yeah. So
things
just
of
do
that.
your research.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
check it out.
Just go ahead and
Mhm.
we put that stuff out there so you can go ahead and do your own research. Self education is very important.
Most definitely.
Okay.
So as Jackie said, last week we talked about a healthy and smooth transition back to school for you and your kids, and we hope you got some good information out of that. But we brought up bullying, right? And bullying happens on so many different platforms nowadays with social media. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit and just dive into that a little bit. So according to the federal government, bullying is defined as unwanted aggressive behavior among school age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. While I'm thinking about it, there's a website, stopbullying.gov, stopbullying.gov. If your child is being bullied, or even if your child is bullying someone, or if you are a person that witnesses bullying, and it could give you some tips and on how to really deal with bullying. So important. Bullying can include actions such as making threats, spreading rumors, attacking someone physically or verbally, and excluding someone from a group on purpose. You know, them cliques out there. You exclude people from
Yeah.
the groups. That's a form of bullying.
Yes, that's why I say it comes in different forms. It's not always a physical fight. Is nonverbal, is verbal, is wanting to fit in,
Hmm.
always excluding
Not being
others.
picked on the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all of these,
So these things we have to be aware of, and that's why we have to have a good communication skill with our children
most
and
definitely.
ask our children, how was their day? Did you meet new people? How was your conversation
Hmm.
today? Did everything go well? If it didn't go well, what went well? We ask our clients what went well, what didn't go well. So,
Hmm.
and if everything went well, that's awesome. But it's okay to talk about what didn't go well,
Hmm.
that you have that right to do that. And it's like we said, we talked about last week how communication starts young. We cannot suppress our children's emotions when they want to express how they feel with respect, so we have to teach them how to communicate, by allowing them to express themselves, how they feel, or how that made me feel. Because what happens when you keep doing that, and now you have a problem with them communicating when they're teenagers, when they're adult. And let me say this, Coach. Delisha and I was talking, and I was listening to this psychology on Family Talk on Series FM, and it was so good. And she talks about how kids communicate, and and that's what, as parents, that's when we have to know our children. That comes with spending quality time with your children and really observing their behaviors and their actions and how they do things. So she talks about, you got the auditory communicator,
Types of, yeah,
and then you got
listeners, right?
the visuals, and then you got the hand, the more visual. So the one that's more auditory, they likes to ask a whole lot of questions. They
Hmm.
come to you, be like, man, you ask so many questions, or you talk. Well, that's their form of
Right,
communication, so
right,
we don't bash that.
right,
We just, okay, this is how they communicate.
right.
Where
Yeah.
the other one may be a more visual, they
Hmm.
want to show you pictures, they want to draw, or they can have a little bit of both.
Hmm.
But as parents,
Or even write it down. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
We have to recognize that. We have to recognize that in our children. And that comes with spending time with your kids and how they come and ask you questions, or how they come to you and how they communicate. And so when you learn how they communicate to you,
Hmm.
now you can better navigate with them and have a better communication skill with them.
Yeah, and what that also does is it opens up that bridge. You know, it gives
Mm,
the kids the freedom to know that I can come to mom, I can
right,
come to dad, and we can have a conversation, about anything.
right,
And that's what your kids need to know, because if they're not learning it from you, they'll learn it out there. But and that process is so important in this bullying effect, because bullying can cause so many issues in your children, not only the children that are being bullied, but the children that are doing the bullying, and the kids that are watching it. And then we'll get in that a little bit more uh, uh, in the show here real soon. But bullying can threaten students' physical and emotional health, like we just said, and safety at school. Your kids go want to be in a safe place when they go to school. They come
right.
home, they want to be in a safe place. When they go to school, they should be in a safe place. But when they're being bullied, constantly every day. They already know what to expect. They go into school with a negative, perception of what's going to take place that day. So that hinders their learning abilities. It negatively impacts their ability to learn. And you wondering what's going on with your child. Bullying can be part of it. And if you're not communicating with them, they might not be sharing that with you. So again, that's why communication is so important. And as I
Right.
said, it affects everyone. Those who are bullied, those who bully, and those who are witnessing it, Jackie.
And that's why I said, and when you have that, you start that communication process with your children early in life because you don't want them to become teenagers and now they're not talking to you. They're not speaking to you. They don't tell you anything.
And
You
then when they do something, it surprises you. I
Yeah,
didn't think.
oh, I didn't
Yeah,
think. Oh,
right.
wow,
Cause that
no.
communication. Yeah.
Because I did not take the time to learn to see how my child communicate because kids can suppress things and what we don't realize, this stuff doesn't show up. We don't see the impact until they get older.
Yeah, a lot of times those strongholds. Right?
A lot of it don't show up till later in life.
The effects of that bullying. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So bullying is linked, like I said, to many negative outcomes, including impacts on mental health, as Jackie just stating, substance use. Your kids may lean to drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, you know, overeating, and
Right.
suicide is possible. It is important to talk to kids to determine, again, that's that communication, whether bullying or something else is a concern for them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the kid who are bullied. The kids that who are bullied, they can experience negative physical and mental health issues. These are the kids that are being bullied. They're more likely to experience depression, anxiety, increased feelings of sadness and loneliness, changes in sleep and eating patterns, and loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy. All of a sudden now, they don't want to play PS4 or 5 or whatever they own now. They don't want to do these things. They don't want to go outside and play with the pet or take them walking or things that they used to love doing. So these issues could persist, like Jackie said, into adulthood. And these things can cause strongholds. Here you go. You got grown people trying to overcome things that were embedded in them in elementary school, in
Right.
middle school, in high school, and you're still dealing with these things. And the person that bullied you is long gone. They probably not even thinking about it anymore.
But think about it. You think about that on the other hand, the bullier, you know, what their childhood was like,
Hmm.
So this is both. It's unhealthy for both
Right. And
children.
we're gonna get to that.
And so we have to, that's why I said we have to pay attention to our children.
Most
We have
definitely.
to,
So important.
and that's why I say it is about talking to them, communicating with them, learning how they communicate. Don't just brush them off. They come to you, they want to show you something.
Hmm.
Go ahead and take a minute. And if you can't do it right now, so just give me 5 minutes, and then we'll get to that and say, okay, go back and let's show me what you was getting ready to show me. You have to understand, but you just don't brush it off.
Hmm.
That's their way of communicating.
Right.
And it's up to you as the parents to know how your children communicate with you. And we don't even want to talk about social media bullying.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Yes,
And we'll
so
talk about
yeah,
that a
I
little
want to
bit.
get
Yeah.
ahead of
So,
myself.
and kids that being bullied, some of the flags that go up is health complaints. They start complaining. They get stomach aches, headaches. They don't want to go to school because they're not feeling well. So these could be some red flags, that are raised that know something is going on, and you need to have a conversation with your child. Decreased academic achievement, as I said, it affects their learning. The GPA and standardized test scores are very, very low when they used to be very, very high. Participation in school. I don't want to participate in the school activities, but you do a lot of things well that the school supports. How come you don't want to participate in these activities? Something not right about that, right? So they're more likely, as I say, to miss, skip, or drop out of school. All of these
Yes,
things
I
right
mean, and yes, and coach, those are things that we have to pay. Like I said, you have to pay a change in behaviors. We have to pay attention, if something is going on. And as a teacher, you
there.
have to pay attention to this to bring the attention to the parents.
Most definitely.
Say, I see little,
That three-way process
yeah,
you talked about last week.
yeah,
Parent, teacher, student.
right. And I see little John Doe is different. He used to like to participate in recess, and now he's not participating in recess anymore,
Mm.
or he don't want to do this. And so I'm gonna talk to little Johnny, or little Susie, and see
What's going on?
what's going on. So maybe you
Right.
want to ask them at home.
Right.
So you have to understand, and much as a lot of parents today don't want to, you got to get in the homes.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot try to change a behavior from the teacher, classroom, or whatever way, and
It starts in the
it
home.
starts in the
Yeah.
home. If the home is not is producing the behavior, it's hard to change the behavior
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else.
Yeah.
So we have to, let's kind of get this. Children communication with children is very important. We have to know their way of communicating. We have to know the way
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
communicating. And and even back then, let's take it back to us. A lot of things that we went through, our parents pushed it to the side, and we thought it was okay, but it really was a form of bullying.
Right.
It really was. And you think about it today, now it just take on a different form, coach.
Mm-hmm.
Is you got so much in front of them this day, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness,
Got to
children
battle
is
that now.
such a blessing, and they are gifts, and it's almost like, I'm bringing this child in this world, and you got to protect them.
Right. And here's another thing that could happen, Jackie, to kids that are being bullied. A very small number of bullied children might retaliate through extremely violent measures. In 12 of 15 school shooting cases in the 1990s, when his stuff was really raising his head, the shooters had a history of being bullied. So we have to be careful with that, because the kid can get so, out of who they are, out of their character, out of who they are, and just think that, hey, things are over with for them, and don't care about suicide, or what the repercussions of things that could happen, and revert to violent measures now.
Yeah.
We know that don't happen every day, but it happens. We know it
Right.
happens in this world. So just, Jack, let's talk about the kids who bully the kids.
Right.
Let's talk about the bully. They can also engage in violent and other risky behaviors as they grow into adulthood. The kids that are doing bullying, we're talking about the bully now. Kids who are bullied, kids who bully are more likely to abuse alcohol, other drugs, and adolescence and as adults. So they're more prone to get into these type of things. They're more prone to get into fights, vandalize property, and drop out of school. They're more prone to engage in early sexual activity, have criminal convictions and traffic citations as adults, be abusive toward their romantic partners, spouses, or children as adults. So all of these things could be part of a bully's life, if it's not addressed early in their childhood. And so many times we focus on the kid that's being bullied, but we really need to put some focus on the kid
Right.
that's doing it, so he can be when he gets out into society, he can be a positive influence in society and not a negative influence.
That's right. That's right. And like I said, we have to. It's all about our relationship with our children, and how we are rearing these children, and they're stewards. God has given us stewardship over our children, and we with His help have to do the best that we know how to do, and when we know our best. And that saying, when we grew up, you see something and you know it's wrong, and your parents say, oh well, do as I say and not as I do. No, more is caught than taught.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do more what they see and behaved in front of them versus is what you say. And these kids are very outspoken today and very verbal, and they're going to tell you, no, well, you did, and they will embarrass you. No, you do it at home, so why is it not okay for me to do it?
Right. More scout than taught.
More is caught than taught.
Right.
So they are going to do that. So my thing is, we have to make sure we are behaving, the way we want to see our kids behave. If they see certain behaviors in the home and they grow up that way, they're going to behave the same way either, as well.
Mm-hmm.
If they see lack of communication in the home, and nothing is being worked through, guess what? they gonna handle situations that way as well,
Most definitely.
and they will suppress and hold things in.
Mhm.
And that stuff can result in other things, and it can physically affect your physical body over time.
That's a great point you make, Jackie, because we're talking about the bully now. The bully, it could be coming from a broken home too, and
Right.
they're acting out things, that they're seeing, in their home, or they're just acting out things that, hey, this is what I know to do. And then they feel that they get a certain status and they have to uphold that status around their friends, other friends that are bullying people. And now, they have to uphold their status and come to school every day and do these type of things. And now, throughout their school path or their process, this is what they do. So they get in life and think this is what they're supposed to do. So it's
Right.
so very important that we address bullying. The best way to address bullying is to stop it before it even starts. The school staff, as Jackie mentioned, is responsible to make its school safer and prevent bullying, training school staff on how to do that, and the students to prevent and address bullying helps to sustain prevention efforts over time. And that's what happens. If we let these things happen over time, it's going to be hard to stop them. So that's why we got to have the training in place. And not only that, when these teachers get the training, when these students are taught, how to react to bullying, we have to apply these things in our schools so that we can prevent the bullying.
And also, coach, vice versa. You may be getting the behavior at school, and the parents may notice a change at home.
Hmm.
So the parent has to go to the teacher. Listen, I notice, my son or my daughter, just kind of withdrawing when they get home, and that's
Right.
not their normal behavior.
Hmm.
Is anything going on? So you bring that awareness to the teacher,
Hmm.
visit the schools.
Right.
Parents, I know you are busy. I know you're working, but if there's a day of the week for 15 minutes, sacrificing your lunchtime, go visit your children.
That's right.
Get to the school, see what's going on, see what children they are surrounded with 7, 8 hours a day.
Especially if you
That's
see red flags. Yeah.
if you're seeing red flag, at least
Especially.
once a month,
Mhm.
just go up there and just see what's going on. So you bring this information or this to the teacher, bring it to her attention, his or her attention,
Mhm.
and you say, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on little John Doe, or little John Day,
Mhm.
and see what's going on. And I'll look at recess. We'll have that's the village. That's the
And that's
partnership.
what it takes. It
And
takes.
that's what it's take. Let's read this. Transparent moments. I experienced a season of being bullied in elementary school. I was afraid to tell anyone, but my brother caught it and helped me. Praise God. I know I was. I used to we used to walk to school.
I used to get in a fight every day because
But
I
Patrick's
hated bullying.
Patrick started the fights.
No, but I hated bullying. So
He hated, but you
I
still
hated to see
started the
people
fight.
get taken advantage of. So
And
I
I
fought.
and I know that, but he he started the fight. So, but let me tell you, I
Let me
was
clean that up a little bit. I
okay.
wasn't a bully. I used to help people that was bullied
Bully,
because
they got it.
I just couldn't stand, especially heavy. A lot of heavy set people got bullied a lot, and I just didn't like that. And I tried to tell them to stop, but then when they turned on me, I had to bring out the hood in me.
Oh,
It was just that way. But
he had to bring
that's
out
the
the
old
down the back.
Patrick. That's the
But
old Patrick.
yeah, but let me but no, I was this girl. I don't know. She was like scary. I was nothing more than in what 5th grade. Now this particular morning, everybody on our the street we lived on, we all walked to school together because our school was right up the street. We didn't have the buses and stuff that the luxury the kids have today. So we walked. It ain't took us number 5 minutes to get to school. Well, this particular morning, I just was running. I was running a little bit behind. Mom got me up because she has to have to get to work. She gets me up before she goes to work, and so she go ahead and do what she needs to do. My brothers and them, they're still there, so I'm trying to get there. And this particular morning, I just stayed in the bed. I'm like, oh my goodness. So and I jumped up and trying to get dressed and all this. My brothers and them back there getting dressed, and I'm trying to get out. Everybody was gone. And so I had to walk that day by myself. I don't think I was scared because we didn't have the crime that we have today. But anyway, I was walking and this girl came out of nowhere. I mean, just out of nowhere. And she took my lunch money. I was crying and I was scared. And do you know, I didn't tell anyone. And then about a month later, she appeared on our street and I told my sister, boy, I said, that's the girl. She said, what girl? That's the girl. She went over there and I ain't going to tell you, child, she beat
She didn't handle it right.
I ain't having that. I ain't had no more problem with them. But you can get bullied by your clothes. You know, everybody don't have the fancy clothes or the
Shoes.
shoes and all this stuff. And you may have a child that this is all they have, you
Right.
know, and they pick on these children.
Right.
And kids can be cruel.
They can be.
And they can, but they're children themselves. But where did they get that from?
That's why we have to intervene.
Where
you
it
know,
come
right.
from?
That's why we have to intervene. When you
That's it.
see it, you got to report it. Reporting should be anonymous, and all reports should be investigated. So if you report something, they shouldn't say, "Well, this person said you did." No, it's got to be anonymous, and they just address it, right? Document it if it's necessary, and
Right.
address it appropriately in a timely manner. Parents, you got to follow up. On these things. If you are the one reporting that your child may be being bullying, not saying anything could make it worse for everyone. Again, there's a repercussions for everyone that's involved, not just the person that is being bullied. The kid who is bullying would think it is okay to keep treating others that way. If confirmed, parents should be notified and meet with school officials to address the incident to prevent future incidents. And not only that, I think both parents on both sides should be there so you can talk to the parents and you can have a conversation and put a stop to what's going on.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And we can only do what we can do. Like I said, it takes because we can't watch them 24/7.
Hmm.
You know, once you send them out to school, you send them out to now into life.
Hmm.
You know, some parents now this is your first time sending your kids out, you know, into this life. Now they're away from you for a extended a period of time.
Every day.
Now you got to, you know, and first thing I say, you cover them with the blood of Jesus
Yes, sir.
and pray over them every morning. You talk to them. You open up with them. You ask them, visit the classroom. You ask them how was their day? Who did they meet today?
Hmm.
How many you have in your class? How many of girls and how many boys? You know, how have did you talk to any of them? How was y'all conversation? So you got to open up dialogue. And when your kids get that when they're young, oh wow, you will have such a great relationship. And
Hmm.
this doesn't mean everything's perfect,
Right.
but at least you're open up dialogue. Now you're gaining that trust where they can communicate with you.
There you go. And and for the person that's being bullied, don't keep your feelings inside. Talk to an adult that you trust. And then stay away from those if you can. Stay away from those places where the bullying happens. If you can do that. Uh, I know sometimes it's not right. It's not easy to do that. You don't want to give up your recesses. You don't want to give up your school activities. Now that's not what I'm meaning. But if there are some places that you can stay away from that, where the bullying happens, then try to do that. Most bullying happens when adults are not around. All right. If you can go to these places and you got adult supervision, if you're doing an activity, you got some kind of coach or mentor there, and they should put a stop. They shouldn't allow those things to happen, especially if you bring it to their attention. Be kind to the kid being bullied. We know the word says what you can kill them with kindness, but the word don't say that. But it leads to that. You can kill them with kindness. Be kind to people. And even the bully. Show them some kindness and maybe
Because
it'll
they
touch.
may need
Yeah,
love.
maybe
We
it'll
don't
touch his heart. Right.
know how
His or
their
her heart.
environment, his or her heart, or their environment is being. You don't know because sometimes it's just you don't know how they home being. If y'all remember the So Good Times, and when Michael had joined the gang and he started behaving a certain way, and he didn't get this at home,
Hmm.
but the young man that was bullying him and made him join. Remember, they was threatening him.
Hmm.
So, of course, what Miss Florida do? They invited him to the house, and so, but look at and then look at his behavior. And so, Mr. Evans got that belt. He whooped him back then. They can whoop you like that, and that's that village.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was his home and how he was brought up. Remember,
Right.
And so we just don't know. And we're not saying, you're not doing, as parents, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But we have to watch our behavior.
Most definitely. And if you're
We
the
in front of our children,
right,
as
okay.
the mothers and fathers and these credible authorities in in our children lives, we have to watch our behaviors and what we're doing, even from when we're talking to people and they to other adults. Have your kids leave the room, or don't be talking about other people and things in front of, because that create, you setting them up to be
Makes
gossipers.
them bitter towards
you
someone that
know
haven't even done anything to them. Yeah.
Exactly. And then they ask you, Mom, why are you talking about? But then the next thing they see you, you speaking to them and you're nice. And so you were like, well, you was talking, and they'll bust you out in a
So
minute.
let's get to this point. If you're a person that are witnessing the bullying, be kind to the kid that's being bullied. On purpose, be kind to them. Show them that you care by trying to include them in things. Sit with them at lunch or on the bus. Talk to them at school. Usually, a bully, when they see more three or four people together, they won't mess with the person. So try to do those things. If you know somebody's being bullied, you and your friends try to hang out with them a little bit and just try to show some care when they're out there at them places of recreation and recess and things of that nature. Just will help them know that they aren't alone in this process. If you are a bully, just stop. Think before you say or do something that could hurt someone. Keep in mind that everyone is different, and that's what we have to realize, people. Everybody's different. We're not better or we're not worse. We're just different. And if you think that you have bullied someone in the past, apologize. Everyone feels better, in that process.
Yeah. And sometimes kids, the peer pressure. Sometimes it could be peer pressure. You got a lot of games on
Mm,
that's going on. Sometimes that is peer pressure. And when kids are not getting what they need at home, they are finding it on the outside.
gang family, yeah.
And that's your gang family. So it comes with a lot of peer pressure too. So it's not easily to just stop, because we don't know that child's situation,
Hmm.
and what environment and what they're growing in. Because see, our environment creates certain behaviors,
Hmm.
and if and if the environment doesn't change, it's hard to change the behavior. Just like I said, you can try to do your part here in the schools and the teachers and the counselors. But if I'm sending that child right back into that environment,
Hmm.
the environment would change you before you change it.
Most definitely, that's a law.
And it's hard. And it's hard. And you have to pray for children.
Say that one again. The environment
The environment, you have
will change
to,
you.
the law of environment would
Will change.
change you before you change it.
That's it.
And you going in a situation, even as an adult,
Hmm.
you putting yourself in an environment that opens you up, and you think, I'm okay, I can handle this, and before you know it, you back into the culture, fitting in to where you opposed of.
Hmm.
So we have to understand. I don't know why I went there, but I went there.
No, that's
But
that's fine because it's,
yeah,
it's
because
relevant.
it's
It's
relevant and
relevant.
it's
Yeah,
true, it's
it's relevant.
real,
It
guys.
is what it is.
We are dealing with, a nature
Hmm.
that will rise up in us.
Right.
Remember, I told you, bad behaviors don't disappear. We got to put them under.
Yeah. And
We
keep
got we got to
practicing
put
good
them under
behaviors on
subjection.
purpose. Yeah.
On purpose, we have to
Most definitely.
go against it.
Hmm.
That's right, Wayne. It is. We got to put that thing under, because so many times it tries to rise up, and you got to remind yourself, no, every day
Hmm.
I'm an overcomer. Great is he that is in me than he that's in this world. I'm a new creature.
All right. Before we get off,
Okay,
we want to talk about cyberbullying. So let
okay,
me hit these last
okay.
few points that I want to make sure that people get because we want parents to focus on your child when you're having that conversation with them. Be supportive, gather as much information about the incident as you can. You want to listen carefully to find out who was involved, where and when it happened, and get the names of any witnesses that were there. You want to reassure your child that bullying is always wrong, not his or her fault, and you're going to help them. Do not encourage physical retaliation or payback. So this type of action may result in your child becoming suspended, expelled, or something else could get hurt and will certainly escalate in already difficult situations. So it's key to remain calm as you handle these type of situations. Getting upset may further upset your child and everybody involved. If the bullying took place on the bus, the school bus, contact the school bus driver and the also the place that assigned these bus drivers to the buses, and work with the school to help to find solutions. Follow up with your child to ensure the bullying has stopped, and that's the critical piece right there. Following up, gotta follow up. Jack, you got any last
Yes.
words on that before we
And
go
I
into
have a
cyber?
couple of comments. The law of environment applies to all ages, not just kids. And that's true.
And bullying too, because you can be
Bully,
bullied on work. You
exactly.
can be bullied at
I
work.
had that experience. Trust me, for years on my job. I had it, but as an adult, I handled it. I may not handle it as well the first time, but as I got more into Christ,
Mhm.
Christ, I handled it better.
Yeah, you can be bullied at
Yeah.
work.
And
As
that's
a
the
grown person.
yes, evil communication will corrupt good manners. We have to be careful, we have to gird ourselves up. We have to guard our heart.
Hmm.
And so you got to know, because it will, I'm telling you, that flesh will try to rise up, and that ugly head try to come up, and you have to
Gotta
put it
squash it. Most
down.
definitely.
You got to squash it, and you got to remind yourself who you are, and that's who you used to be.
Hmm.
I don't respond that way anymore. I've been transformed. I've been redeemed. So you have to remind yourself of that.
Right.
And
And here's
because
the thing: just because you're saved and all of that, you're still not going to be a
a
doormat
doormat, you're
to
not gonna
anyone.
be a doormat for anybody to
So
just treat you any kind of
so
way
as a
now.
Christians, we don't have to keep the peace. No, we can make
Make
peace.
peace.
And when you make peace, that means that you gonna have to say something, and you gonna have to do some things to get your situation back to a peaceful place. If you want
Exactly.
to keep the peace, then you go, all right, with everything that's happening, I'm just gonna shut up and I ain't gonna say
It
nothing.
ain't
I
gonna
ain't gonna do
bother me
nothing.
anymore.
So I'm just gonna keep the peace. Jack, let's talk about
Yeah, and
cyberbullying.
that's the difference between peacemakers and peacekeepers.
That's right.
Now you
That's
gotta
another
see.
subject.
Yeah, that's
So
another subject. So
cyberbullying,
bullying.
right?
So
Because with this social media, uh, there's another element now to bullying, and it's cyberbullying. This happens online or through text messages or emails. You have to protect yourself by always thinking about what you post before you press that send button. You really need
exactly.
to read it and make sure
That's what
that
you
you're
want
thinking
out there.
about, and that's what you want in the World Wide Web. You have to be kind to others online. Do not share anything that could hurt or embarrass anyone. You know, uh, People share so much online these days or in
Right.
social media. We wouldn't even tell people
I
things
know it.
that
I mean, they just
it's
no
just
privacy at all,
it's just wide open.
and I wouldn't dare put anything out there that hurt people. And I'm gonna share this, and I don't know if it resonates with anybody else. Sometime when people hurt us, and we're in a place of emotional hurt, or not really emotionally whole, we'll tend to take something somebody else posted, like a quote or something, and we'll put it out there, and because that's how we're feeling at the time. So our behavior sometimes, is what we put out there really is something coming from our emotional state and where
Mm,
we're at, or what somebody has done to us. And
mm,
so I'm like, okay, let me read this. This is why I'm very
yeah,
careful that I put things out there that's going to encourage, that's going to edify and build up others. Everything else I cast it over to God, and,
right.
and I'm done with it. I don't have time for it
And the thing with
no
social
more.
media too, it can be misinterpreted. A text can
Right.
be misinterpreted.
Yeah,
What you're saying on this social media blog, it can be misinterpreted. It's
right.
so, some things just shouldn't be shared. People have opinions, and it's okay for them to share their opinions.
Yeah.
People are not going to agree with everything that I
And
feel
that's
is right.
okay.
And
That's
people are not
okay.
going to agree with everything that you feel is right. But that's okay. That's their opinion. And this is a space where they want to share their opinion. Okay, well, share your opinion. But so many people get beat up for their opinion on social media. That's similar to cyberbullying. Just because I feel this way, or I have this opinion, and I want to share my opinion in this platform, I get beat up about it. That's cyberbullying.
Yeah.
People have opinions.
And let
Allow
me
them to have their opinion. Allow them to have their space. Okay, I hear what you're saying. If that's what you believe, you believe it. I tend to believe otherwise.
Okay, but let me give you an example. Look at the Olympics. They tried to pin the athletes against each other. And social media just going on and on and on. And we get into that stuff and respond. And I see people, I'm like, why y'all? And it's not even that. It's not even that. And these athletes has relationship. They talk to each other. They support. each other. No one liked it. Some of people didn't like the ideal that Simone and the other girl kind of gave the other girl her flowers from Brazil. It's nothing wrong with that. It's great to celebrate others, in their accomplishment. And if that was her time for that moment, celebrate it.
Yeah, and that's again.
Yes,
that
but the
goes back,
social media.
right, it goes back to people opinion. A lot of people don't think that was the platform or the place to do that. People have opinions. Okay, I hear it.
Right.
But what's done is done. Especially when it's out there in cyber world, you can't pull it back.
It's gone.
So who
www World Wide Web.
who
It is out there.
Yeah, but some ways you can protect that is keep your password a secret. That's hard to do these days.
Change your password periodically.
Right. You got people out there that's all they do is trying to hack into your stuff. Let your parents have your passwords.
Check
I
your
know
kids'
that's
phones.
a hard one for them.
I know it. Check your kids' phones. See what's going on. Put some restrictions and boundaries
Privacy settings.
on there.
If you're gonna be on
Yeah.
there. Keep your parents, and we're talking to the kids now. Keep your parents informed what you're doing online and who you're doing it with. That is so very important. We see so many times in the news where kids get caught up when they get involved with predators in the social media world.
Right.
So that's real and that's important. Listen to
Yes.
what they have to say about what it is and is it okay. Listen to your parents, kids, when they telling you that. Talk to an adult you trust about any messages you get or things you see online that make you sad or scared. If it is cyberbullying, report it. Again, www.stopbullying.gov give you a lot of information and training for this area.
All right. So we're about at that time, Coach, and this has been great. Thank you guys for joining us. Deborah, Wayne, Sharon, Debbie,
Everybody that's out there. Even the
everybody
ones we
that's
can't
on
see.
there. If I missed the name,
And
happy
she'll look at it
birthdays
later.
and happy anniversary for the month of August. We got a few more weeks left in August, and I tell you, this time is not waiting for anybody.
Most definitely. Listen, we want you to like our Facebook page at Get Fit with Jackie Fitness and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Help Matters Jackie and Coach. Make sure when you're looking at the broadcast, like it, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to help us do what we do.
Okay, guys, remember, we're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. We always like to leave you with 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Guys, if you have not purchased Still Becoming a Woman's Journey from Wellness to Wholeness, go ahead, go to www.womenonthewellness.com or go to Amazon and purchase your copy of Still Becoming a Woman's Journey from Wellness to Wholeness. Love you guys. We'll see you later. Have a blessed
Health is
day.
life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up. Cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goals.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.